Single 40 Podcast, episode 67. 6-7, as the kids would say. Anyways, here with Glenn.
What's up, guys? Back at it.
Yeah, so last week we gave the top 10 reasons why people don't, or excuses people use for not taking international or going on international travel. Talking over the week, me and Glenn came up with another idea, and we wanted to get into that today. Basically, one of the main reasons we came up with last week, and those 10 different things, it all had to do with like time and money. And time's obviously our most valuable asset. Me and Glenn talk about it all the time, and a lot of us waste some time, as me and Glenn do, like anybody else. So we came up with a list of the 10 things men over 40 need to stop wasting their time on.
Good topic, since our channel is Single at 40.
Yeah, and I mean, this goes for men and women. Obviously, we're guys, so we're going to talk about it from the male perspective. But yeah, 10 things men over 40 need to stop wasting their time on. These aren't in any specific order, but we'll just start with number one and go down the list. So number one is worrying about what other people think.
Yeah, it's a big one. I mean, that's any age, but I guess as you get older, I mean, you don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I mean, we created this channel with zero thought about what people think about it, right? And I don't know, that's how I feel. So
yeah, I mean, at some point you got to stop worrying about other people's approval, right? And do what you got to do. Either start the business or go on that trip or start taking jiu-jitsu, whatever it is. Like, everyone's going to have an opinion, but other people's opinion are their business, right? And if you're wasting any time worrying about what other people think about you, it is a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, it's a hard one to once you get that mindset of like what people think is their business. Like, that's the craziest thing, but so true, right? Like, you obviously are. I mean, it just goes into insecurity, right? When you're making content or you're doing anything, you're working at your job, or once you realize like, I don't care what people think, it helps out with everything.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of power. Me and Glenn always talk about too, like, if you look at it from like the inside out, how much time do you really spend thinking about other people? Not a lot. You're more caught up in your own thoughts about your own problems, your own life, your own issues. And you might give somebody a 10 seconds in your brain as they walk by, like, oh, I like that guy's shirt, or that guy looks like a douchebag. But after that, you don't think about it anymore, you know? And we put so much internal thought on what other people think. It is a huge waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're making content and you want to battle people that talk shit, it's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the end, it's none of our business what fucking somebody says about what they think of our channel or what the fuck we're talking about.
So yeah, that's number one, you know, worrying about what other people think about you. And full disclosure on the list, like, me and Glenn are both guilty of everything on this list at some point in our life, and still some of them we're guilty of, but we try to focus on these things to improve our situation and not waste time on them, right? So the second one, I'm using my phone here for some notes, but the second one is staying in relationships that make you miserable. And this is a big one. It's a huge killer of your time and your emotions and everything you do in life.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak for like a ton of experience because I'm not in anything.
Well, not even just you're thinking
like female relationships.
Yeah, you're thinking of like intimate, you know, romantic type relationships. Like, yes, that's a big one that you should not stay in, but think about friendships or even work relationships, or
I
like
guess
just
so.
Across the board, like a relationship that's not, you know, healthy and doesn't provide you with anything. Like,
that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, anytime somebody brings you down as negative, like, fucking just get out of that shit.
I mean, it comes down to like, just because you have history with somebody doesn't mean you need to give them your future, right? And we all have old friends, and people go in different directions in life, and it's not like you're not their friend anymore. But if, you know, this guy wants to do this and you're trying to head that way, I mean, how much time you spend with them, you know, kind of dictates where you're going, right? I mean, you've heard that thing, like, you know, show me the 5 people that are, you know, you're closest to, and I'll, you know, show you like what your life is, basically.
I've heard that, yeah.
I totally butchered that, but paraphrasing it.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's just like surround yourself with people, like-minded people, right? And want to kind of have the same goals and shit. So
yeah, I mean, if your work's making you miserable, like, find a new job. Like, do what you got to do to figure it out. If, you know, you have a friendship that's making you miserable, might be time to move past it or at least distance it. And this even goes for family. Like, everybody has family members they don't get along with, or not everybody, but some people do. And if somebody in your family's making you miserable, it's like, yeah, you're not going to cut your family off, but you can also limit the exposure they have to your life to make yourself happier. And then the romantic one of it's, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I mean that's right off the bat. You think about it because it's. I mean, there's a lot of people I know that are in that type of situation, right? And for whatever reason, kids or
Financial's a big
yeah,
part of it.
they stay in it, and you're just like, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, life's way too short to be miserable. The third one kind of goes back to the first one, trying to impress people. And people do waste time on this, and it's like, the car you drive, the watch you have, the clothes you wear, like, who are you trying to impress? Like, if you're putting in time and effort to impress others, I mean, it's pointless. I mean, it's a big fucking waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I guess I don't really think too much about it, but obviously, like the stuff we're doing, you could take it however you want. But it's like when we go party in AC and shit.
No,
Yeah,
exactly. Great point.
I mean, yeah, like okay, what are these guys talking about? Trying not, they're not worried about impressing me. But it's, I mean, in the end, we're gonna do what we want to do, and so
That's the key of it. Like, you got to look at something and like, why are you doing it, right? And if you're doing it because you enjoy it, fucking do it. If you enjoy driving a fucking Mercedes Benz and you love cars and you love the way it handles, like, then fucking buy the Mercedes Benz. Like, all
yeah,
for it. But if you're doing it because you want to put off a perception that you're rich or you want to look cool and you're not doing it for yourself, then what the fuck's the point, right?
yeah, no, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at. Is
100%, right?
it's
And
like,
when I read this one, I was thinking about our channel, and people think, oh, those guys are just trying to impress. It's like, no, we actually enjoy doing that shit. Like,
yeah.
there's no reason to impress anybody. We did it before the channel. Like, we're
I mean,
just showing you what we
and
like.
yeah, and it's just scaled, right? So it's like even when we didn't have as much of a budget, like it was fun to go, throw money here and there and watch people go crazy. But
And
yeah,
we've mentioned before, when it's not fun anymore, we're going to stop doing it.
yeah, and I
It's
mean, and as much as like even the last trip we went on, and it was definitely fun, but it is starting to get like chaotic, right? Like I mean, we've talked about. I mean, you
oh yeah,
obviously we've organized this thing to become like such a, I mean, with the entourage and like the planning of going where and here. I mean, it's still fun, but yeah. So
and even like romantically, I realize like when you're trying to court somebody or date somebody, you want to like obviously impress them to get them to date you, whatever. But the God's honest truth, if you just be yourself and not worrying about impressing the girl and just be who you are, you're going to have a lot more success. And then once you do get the girl, she's going to already know who you are because you weren't trying to impress her, and she's going to like you for who you are. And the relationship's going to be a lot more successful.
yeah,
So,
I mean, authenticity, right? Just be authentic. So
all right. So let's move on to number 4, arguing with people who you'll never be able to change their mind, especially online. So obviously we have this channel and we get into arguments sometimes with negative commenters and whatnot, but this is extremely right. Like, if you can't change somebody's mind, what is the point of arguing with them?
yeah, I mean, my like right off the bat, like the thinking about that, it's like I mean, when it comes to politics,
Huge.
and like I mean, people have certain thoughts, beliefs, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's just you're never gonna. It's just not a positive conversation to have with someone or go down that path. But when it comes to like the online shit, like yeah, like I mean, you're never gonna change a negative person who doesn't like who. I mean, it's happened with
I've gone down that rabbit hole. Honestly, like, I've stopped it. Like, because I even mentioned on podcasts previously, like, it can become a full-time job. And at a certain point, you're like, why am I arguing with this guy? Like, he has his point of view and he thinks we're losers or he thinks what we're doing is stupid. And it's like, no matter what I say, I ain't going to change his fucking mind. So why am I wasting the time? And when you're doing content, like, you want the engagement, right? And that's kind of what I was chasing. But then when I realized, like, I could spend my time making new content or thinking about new content or doing other things that are more productive for my life, like, the engagement's not that valuable is what I'm getting at. Like, I don't need engagement from negative people and wasting my time. Just keep engaging them so our views go up and it's not worth it at the end of the day. And like I said, I'm guilty of all these at some point in my life and still some of them today. And that was one I was definitely guilty of. It was arguing with people online for
yeah.
no fucking point.
I mean, it's fun at first, I guess. Obviously it's fun to like pipe back and but when yeah, like you said, some of these fucking trolls are they're hardcore when it comes to, they just come right back and it's just never ending. And I could see why guys like who have bigger channels don't even engage with the negativity.
And honestly, that's what got me off social media personally. Like years ago, everybody remembers Colin Kaepernick and him taking a knee for the national anthem, and everybody had their certain feelings and thoughts on that. And I found myself getting into arguments on Facebook, not with strangers, but with like random people from my life. Because on Facebook, you get on it and you got people from high school that you haven't seen since high school that you were cool with, but you're not like close friends with, and just different people that have came across your life. And I was like arguing with. I remember I was arguing with this one guy that I went to high school with that I wasn't really even friends with, just acquaintances with, and we were sitting there arguing for like 3 days back and forth over, our different views on, Colin Kaepernick doing that. And then it just dawned on me, like, why am I doing this? Like, I wish that guy nothing but the best, but like, he's not part of my life. Like, he lives in Colorado. He's got a family. Like, good for him. I hope he does great in life. But why do I care if I change his mind on what he thinks about Colin Kaepernick? It was fucking retarded. And I had this epiphany, and then I literally got off of personal social media, and I never got back on social media until me and Glenn started this. And that was a big changer in my time, in my life. And I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely don't want to have like those endless conversations with people that just don't really go anywhere. So
Well, that's a big one. All right, the next one, we're down to number 5. This is a good one. Saying someday. Someday I'll travel, someday I'll start the business, someday I'll get in the gym, someday I'll do this.
yeah, I mean, who was it? I don't remember exactly. Someone on our podcast was talking about just taking action, right?
Kiahi.
Yeah. And, it's like something I've learned. It's, you just when you take action and even if it may not be the right time or, if you just do the steps to whatever goal it is or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish but taking that action and you feel better and whether it works right away or not, at least moving forward, right? And you're not kicking it down the road.
No, exactly. I mean, when you're young, you're a kid or you're in your early 20s, thinking someday is fine. You got dreams, aspirations, and you should think someday I'm going to do this. But once you're north of 40, I mean, let's get real. Half your life is probably over. I mean, people are living to 70, 80 years old. So you're sitting here in your 40s and it's like, someday you don't have someday. You gotta take action, like Glenn said.
Yeah.
The podcast he's referring to is with our friend Kiahi, who's an older gentleman who's extremely successful real estate broker, and he was telling us a story about when he was moving back to Hawaii from Southern California, and him and his wife finally just set a date, and then they eventually got it done. And we've talked about this with you and you moving to the Philippines, in our 10-year plan. It's like, stop saying someday and be like, have like a working date. And you don't have to end up doing it on that date, but take the action to get to that goal by the time you want to do it,
Yeah, no, it's, and it's funny because, I mean, maybe whether you say it to somebody or you're just thinking it, having that, taking action and doing it, I mean, fuck, dude, it's rewarding and it's motivating. I mean, the fact that in our minds, talking about this 10-year plan, it was in a sense, like someday we'll move to the Philippines. But over the years, we've, done what we needed to do and just taking risks, right?
Yeah, we stopped saying someday and we said 10 years.
Yeah.
Like we're going to set up our lives for in 10 years. We want to be ready to make this move and not necessarily retire, but get out of our current careers and take the step to living in Southeast Asia. So, I mean, if you're over 40 and you're thinking about doing anything, do it. Like set a date. At the end of the day, take a step towards it, right?
Yeah,
like you said, action. Like every plan, every path starts with one step. So whatever that step is, like just take the first step and stop wasting time thinking about it, right?
And it goes back to what we just talked about. I mean, the podcast we did last week that I just posted today was, talking about traveling. If that's something that you said someday I'm gonna go travel the fucking here and there, like do what you need to do, save the money, and start looking into where you want to go and taking action. So
one step, get the passport. Like you said, do the research, start saving $100 a week, whatever, take the step.
Yeah.
Stop saying someday and be like, hey, in 3 years, I'm going to Thailand, or in 5 years, I'm going to Thailand.
That's it.
Set the date and go for it, man. All right. Number 6, comparing your life to someone else's. This one's important.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people. I mean, nowadays with social media, everyone's doing that shit, right?
It's
Like,
hard not to.
yeah, it's thrown in your face, but I don't know. I think it all goes caring about what people think, trying to impress people. It's like just do your thing, and I guess when you won't care about what your life looks like compared to someone else's, you'll just worry about what the fuck you're doing.
The two things that come to mind for me when you talk about comparing your life to someone else's, one, comparison's the killer of joy, right? There's always going to be somebody out there that has more than you financially or has a better house than you or a nicer car. There is like there, it's always going to be there, right? But then you got to flip it and look like there's somebody looking at you that wishes they have what you have. So to waste your time comparing yourself to somebody else is a complete waste of time because you've got more than somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with looking at somebody and being like, I want to get to that level or I want to be that, or I want to get what they have. That's cool. But don't compare like, fuck, I'm 45. This guy's only 30 and he owns 3 houses and a fucking Bentley. Like, my life sucks. Like, no, start taking the steps to get to where that guy's at and stop
Yeah,
worrying about why you don't have it, Kind of goes into the other one.
definitely. Just wasting time thinking about that shit will just like it'll stop you from achieving those goals.
And like you said, with social media, it's like there's so many people out there, flexing, as the kids say, or they might not even say that shit anymore, but just showing a life that's probably not really theirs. And people accuse us of that, like, oh, when you go to Angeles, you weekend millionaires, you're flexing. It's like, yeah, we are flexing. We can't go do this in Vegas and Miami. We can do it in the Philippines and Thailand. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
But don't look at us and be like, they're flexing and like, I want to do that. Like, you can do it. Like, and we keep talking about how you can do it.
Yeah, and we've given you like a fucking plan on how to do it, and like, so
And for those of you that like, you want to get there, just focus in, take the steps and stop wasting your time worrying about the other people and fucking go for it, man. Number 7, this is an interesting one because I don't have too much trouble with this. I mean, I think I have it at certain times in my life, but so number 7 is holding grudges.
holding grudges.
And how much time do you waste, being mad at somebody, thinking about what they did to you and,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't really say I have a lot of that experience because, to be honest, like when it comes down to that type of shit, if I'm upset about something, it's like I don't really think about it too much, and
yeah, I think me and you are pretty good on this. I know you well, obviously, and like I know myself, and we're not really big grudge people. But I mean, people have wronged us, right? And just because you let somebody back in your life or you let somebody continue in your life doesn't mean you have to forgive them, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can always remember it, keep it in mind. Like, just wasting time thinking about it and being angry about it is a horrible thing to do. I mean, I have friends to this day that like, I played sports with that still hold grudges about, high school football coaches or college football coaches. And it's like, bro, like, even if they're right, it doesn't matter at this point in life,
Yeah.
right? Like, maybe you should have started over that guy. Like, I'm not arguing with you, but to sit here and worry about it and talk about it, like, you could be using that mind and the time to think about and worry about something else instead of holding that grudge. You got to let things go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think when you talked about like you don't forget, I mean, I think that's kind of how I've always felt. Like, yeah, at the time, like if I'm upset, like I'm gonna call you out, and maybe we'll, have an issue, but I'm never gonna forget about it. And I mean, if anything, you learn from it, right? You just become more cautious on if someone wronged you. Okay,
Well, like you said, address it. You should always address it.
Yeah.
So then you can move past it.
That's
So it's
it.
not something you sit there and think about and worry about. And if you can't move past the fact of forgiving the person because what they did, fine, then cut them out of your fucking life, right?
That's it.
But if you can come to a common ground and just move forward, it's like just don't spend any more time thinking about it. The past is the past, and the past ain't going to help your future if you're sitting there stewing over something. So the next one, number 8, is kind of goes back to the someday one. This is waiting for the perfect time. And I've been guilty of this. I know you probably have. It's like you have an idea or a plan or you want to do something and you're just waiting for that right time to do it. And as you get older, you realize there is no fucking perfect time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, I mean, especially when it comes to this like plan of like trying to, figure out what I want to do and move out there. Like you said, there's no, I mean, you could work and do all these steps to get there, but yeah, there's never going to be a perfect time. You're never going to have like okay, I'm gonna have all this extra money and be able to do this, and so yeah, it's just like you said, it goes in with the someday. Oh, I wish I could do this, or but yeah, the perfect time that's never there. I don't think it's real.
Well, there's always going to be another bill. There's always going to be another problem in your life. There's always going to be another situation that pops up. So the perfect time doesn't exist, right? So you can't wait for the perfect time to do anything. Like the perfect time is now, and like you said, take steps towards getting to what you want. Like just book the flight. Like, stop worrying about when's the perfect time to travel. When's my life going to be mellow? Like, no, just set the date and go for it, because the perfect time literally doesn't exist.
Yeah, definitely don't need to waste any time thinking about that shit.
And like you said, with your situation, wanting to move to the Philippines, like, of course, you want to do it at the perfect time, but when is that ever going to
Yeah,
be, right?
I've come to realize that I don't. I mean, financially, if I could figure my shit out, then yeah, like okay, that's gonna be the time. But it's never gonna be perfect. Like I'm like, so
Well,
whatever.
sometimes in life too, like life might help dictate you when the time is right. Like you went into work Monday and got fired.
It's a
Maybe it'd be time to move to the Philippines, right? And
yeah,
like that's something kind of, maybe you got fired. Obviously, it could be part of under your control of why you did get fired. But hey, once that thing ends or whatever you're doing is changed, it's like that might be the time to go.
yeah, that's it. I mean, and even just moving out here from California, like it was never like I had a perfect time. It just like the whatever I was going through over there, it just happened, and I made a move. So it'll I mean, I guess it's never gonna be perfect, but it'll happen.
Huh, definitely. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Just start fucking working towards it. So number 9, wasting your time on people who take and never give.
Takers.
Taker. So this is an interesting one because like obviously we like to help people and there's nothing wrong with helping people, and if that makes you happy, you should definitely do it. But continuing to help the same people that are only there to take and never give anything back is a big waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this whole like list, it's like a learning lesson, right? You
Oh
go through
yeah.
all this shit, and it's just like you just got to learn how to deal with the people that either take or the people that don't give back and shit. So
Well, I mean, you're going to come across people in your life that need help, and you probably want to help them for whatever reason and help them. But if they're always the one asking for help and they're never there for you when you need it, and it doesn't have to be financially, like if they don't show up for you ever, why do you keep wasting the time, being there for them? And that's the way you got to kind of look at things. Like how much does somebody take from you before they ever, give you anything back? And if you are a giver, you're somebody that likes to help. When you come across another giver, it's usually a great relationship because you're always one upping each other, trying to help out and give, and both people's life get better, right? Because I'm helping you, you're helping me, and we keep moving forward, just helping each other. So help people that need it, but stay cognitive about is this person ever gonna stop taking, or are they ever gonna stop wasting my time taking?
yeah,
So that's a good one. So the one we left for last, number 10, and this one is extremely near and dear to my heart and Glenn's as well, because we were doing this, and until we traveled and found out how that made us feel, we were in this rut forever. So number 10 is living the same year over and over again.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that shit happens, and it you don't realize it, and then you're in it, right? I
Yeah, I mean, we
mean,
were in it for a while.
yeah. I mean, I want to say even from the time I moved from California, like I mean, almost a good 10 years, of just basically just the grind, right? Doing what you had to do, thinking you just had to, you know, do the same shit over and over, and then there wasn't really that much time to. You just stop thinking about having fun, I guess, and
Yeah,
enjoying
exactly. I
yourself.
mean,
So
when you're talking about living the same year over again, it's like you go to work, you come home, you watch TV, weekend comes, you do your weekend shit, you watch NFL, whatever you do, and then back to work on Monday, and you just keep repeating it over and over again. Now, don't get this convoluted because repetition and a routine is very good. I'm extremely routine type of person. Like I live the same day, 6 days a week, but my break out of that is our travels and doing the podcast and shit like that. But until me and Glenn traveled, like I didn't realize how repetitious my life was and how, like Glenn said, we weren't having fun. And it just, you get into this Groundhog's Day where time just starts to really fly by because everything is the same, right?
Yeah.
And once we discovered travel, that changed everything for us. And, 4 times a year, 5 times a year, we go do something out of the box, ordinary, traveling. And it makes that 3-4 month routine nowhere near as bad as it was, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you don't basically the grind becomes just like a stepping stone to get to wherever you're trying to go, right? For me, at least, it just became a different routine. Became a different like. I just when you go to work, it's like because I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to go. So
Exactly. And you have to have routine and you have to have repetition to be successful, but you just have to find what you like that can break that up. And once you do it, I mean, for me and Glenn as well, once we found travel, like now the repetition and the grind's not bad because we have a reason we're doing it. And when you live the same year over and over again, you don't have a reason to be doing it. That's when you are wasting time. And that's basically what it comes down to with number 10. So yeah, that one's extremely important.
did you get this list off of ChatGPT, or you just
I got the list, some of them from artificial intelligence, and made up a couple myself as it started to give me ideas and thinking of things that I've done in my life to waste time, and what good advice can we give people. And like I said, I'm guilty of all these. Like I've done
yeah
them all, and to this day I still do some of them, and I try to catch myself and change it. And I mean that like it falls back into the make it count. And so it's like if you're 45 and you knew you only had 10 years to live or 15 years, and not even to live, just to be healthy, to have money. Like if you knew you had a set clock, which none of us do, but if you did, like what would you keep living the way you're living? Like would you keep doing the same things you're doing? And that's what you got to ask yourself. And
yeah
that's what I try to ask myself every day is like, all right, I'm 47. Where am I going to be at 57?
no, it's it like. And I think it's a tough question to think about because people don't want to think about as you get older or like death or whatever it is that. But if you sit there and you're like, hey, like I only have this much time and I want to enjoy it, you definitely wouldn't live that life and you would change your thing, your eating habits, your exercise, all that shit. So
Yeah, so that's the question. If you're in your 40s and you only had 10 to 15 more years of, financial means, health, can do whatever you want, like, what would you change? What would you do differently? Like, ask yourself that all the time and try to go after those goals and try to set that path in place because the cliche saying, you only live once, and, every day you get a little bit older. And like I said, at 40, for most of us, it's halfway through your life, God willing, right?
yeah.
I mean, anything can happen, but you just can't sit there and waste time on any of these 10 things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, when you put it that way and you start thinking about like how valuable time is and especially when it comes to health, I mean, yeah, you're going to stop wasting your time on shit that doesn't matter. So,
I mean, that's exactly what it comes down to. All 10 of these are time wasters on shit that doesn't matter.
yeah. And they're all shit that it, you got to just focus on yourself and whatever it is you're trying to do, right? Cuz a lot of these are dealing with other people and having to do with other people and if those people aren't fucking like moving up with you, fucking
I mean, it goes back to the 10 reasons about travel. I mean, a lot of it goes down to mindset and clarity. Like, you got to get your mind set in the right place to have clarity on what you want and then go for it. I mean, that's the best advice I can give. And like I said, I'm fucking guilty of all these things, but try to reel myself in from time to time. And, me and Glenn were so guilty of this living the same year over and over again. And we know people, that do that and they don't have the outlet of travel or they don't have the outlet of whatever it may be, coaching or jujitsu or whatever. And it's like, before you know it, you wake up and you're 60 and you're like, damn.
no, that's it, man. What was that thing Gary Vee was always saying about like people on their deathbed? Like, what is the one thing
Regret.
it's regret, right? The one thing they always think about is regret. Like, regret not traveling, regret not doing whatever, business that they wanted to do when they were younger. It's just, and I mean, these topics are actually pretty cool because it makes time fly when we're talking about this shit, but it's all like fucking everything that we're doing, right? Like when it comes to this channel or whatever we're doing with our other, the travel stuff we're doing in the Philippines. But it's just, I always say that, man. It's like you don't have a lot of time, so you got to enjoy it while it's here.
So yeah, personally, go down the list and look at your life and like how much of these things are you doing and how much time is it wasting of your life and your mental clarity and stopping you from the goals that you want to achieve or holding you back. Because everybody complains they don't have enough time. And it's like when you really start digging into your life, you have time to do things. It's just how you prioritize it and what are you wasting time on, you know? And a lot of this just has to do with mental things, right? But mental things are what drive everything, right? Like you got to think about it before you can do it. So if you can get clarity and stop wasting mental energy on these 10 things, you can start to move in the direction you want to move.
That's it, man.
And I'll keep saying it. We're guilty of all 10 of these. You know, to this day, I'm still guilty of some of them, but always try to reinforce and look back on why am I wasting my time doing this? Is it benefiting the 10-year plan? Is it benefiting the goals I've set for myself? No. Oh, fucking stop doing it.
That's it.
So that's what we got for today. I don't know. I like these top 10 things. I think we should try to find another topic for next week. If anybody has an idea, hit us up in the comments. I mean, the podcast is fun to do. We love talking about Angeles City, but we can't talk about Angeles City every week because we run out of things to talk about. So we're trying to get more into the mindset of, you know, what gets us to Angeles City, what gets us on travel, what gets us to the Philippines, how we're trying to, you know, move forward in our life to enjoy being 40. And then, you know, 3 years for me, 4 years for you, we'll be in our 50s. And then we'll be talking about the same thing, but doing it in our 50s, right?
No, that's it, man. And no, I think these are great because, I mean, like I said, like we bring up stuff that, experiences that we've had over the years that we could relate to with these topics. And, but yeah, it all comes down to the mindset and just trying to, do what you need to do to better yourself.
And that's the community we want to create on here is, you know, people that think like this or, you know, want to think like this and need help thinking about it. I think if we can get those people watching it and engaging with us, that's what we want. And like the asshole that was making fun of us because our podcast only had like 200 views. It's like fucking 200 is great. You know, if there's 200 guys that want to talk about this shit or listen to this shit, awesome.
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of curious to see how, because obviously last week was the first time we posted something that had to do with like a list of, so we obviously talk about travel. So we'll see what kind of engagement we get. But no, it's good. And it's stuff that we enjoy, talking about, thinking about. And so.
Yeah, for me, it's like I don't care how big the community gets, as long as it's strong, right, and it's good. And we've started to create it. Like I'll shout out Glenn from Southern California. He's commented on our, I think it was 2 podcasts ago when we were talking about the One Euphoria purchase, and he actually had stayed there and he was thinking about it too, and same mindset as us, right? And that was kind of what his comment was based on. It's like these are the people we want to be talking with. These are the people we want to make the podcast for, you know, like-minded guys. And if our community stays at what it is now, fucking awesome. If it grows, great. You know, we just want to create that community and be a part of it and, you know, learn from each other and get better and help each other get better and move forward.
Yeah, no, it's been good, man. I was like, caught up a little bit with AJ just, through text on WhatsApp, and it was just he's like I got to get on that 10-year plan, and because he had heard us talking about that. So it was but it's awesome because, it's like we meet these guys, become friends with them, and like they're fucking the same mindset. So.
And the mindset is make it count.
That's it.
That's it. So we're going to end the podcast with that. Make it count. Everything you do, make it count.
Make it count.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.